Can I not just ask whether they ever pay the police?
Sorry?
It's just the one element of whether you ever pay the police for information.
Yeah.
We have paid the police for information in the past, and it's been...
And will you do it in the future?
It depends
we operate within the code and within the law, and if there's a clear public interest, then the same holds for private detectives, for subterfuge, for video bags, whatever you want to talk about.
It's illegal for police officers to receive payments.
No, we don't. As I said, within the law.
You can assure us, therefore, that in future there will be checks in place that senior reporters, however experienced, who suddenly produce stories, will be required to give undertakings that there have been no breaches of the code.
I cannot. Anything that can make the new regime there more rigorous, we will do. But we are running aggressive newspapers. And the job of them, as I said earlier, most of the time is to find out information that other people don't want them to find out.
And you carried out a full, rigorous internal inquiry, and you are absolutely convinced that Clive Goodman was the only person who knew what was going on.
Yes, we have, and I believe he was the only person, but that investigation under the new editor continues.
I was, as you know, editor of the News of the World for 4 years, from January 2003 until January 2007. During that time I never condoned the use of phone hacking, and nor do I have any recollection of incidences where phone hacking took place. My instructions to the staff were clear. We did not use subterfuge of any kind unless there was a clear public interest in doing so. They were to work within the PCC code at all times. Things went badly wrong under my editorship of the News of the World. I deeply regret it. I suspect I always will. I take the blame because ultimately it was my responsibility. And I'm not asking for any sympathy. I suspect I'm unlikely to get any today. But when I resigned, I gave up a 20-year career with News International, and in the process everything that I'd worked towards from the age of 18. But I think it's right that when people make mistakes, they take responsibility. And that is why I resigned.
As I said previously, there's essentially nothing new in the story other than to place in the public domain additional material that had already been considered by both the police investigation into Goodman and Mulcair and by the CPS and the prosecution team. There was certainly no new evidence, and in spite of a huge amount of publicity and our request to the Guardian and others to submit to us any additional evidence, nothing has been forthcoming since.
What did you do about the fact that there appeared to be two documents which suggested that others beside Clive Goodman were involved?
Well, I tasked myself with Mr. Myler's knowledge with finding out what exactly had happened, what was known, who knew, what other documents there might be. I then questioned the junior reporter. He had very little recollection of it, but he did know that about this time he had only just become a reporter. Prior to that, actually, I think he'd been a messenger and he was being trained up off the floor. In the early weeks and months of him being trained up as a reporter, what he did more than anything else was transcribe tapes, journalists' interviews, whatever tapes were relevant to the News of the World. He doesn't particularly remember this job in any detail. He doesn't remember who asked him to do it, and he doesn't remember any follow-up from it. He saw the email, and he accepts that he sent the transcript where the email says he sent it.
Chairman and Chief Executive Officer
Rupert Murdoch, owner of the News of the World, Fox News, and a global broadcasting empire, has finally spoken on the subject of alleged phone tapping by his journalists.
all around the country, and certainly here in New York, is that the News of the World, a News Corporation newspaper in Britain, used...
I'm not talking about that issue at all today. I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries, Mr. Chairman. That's fine with me.
I'm too far removed out of here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, sir.